I'll be teaching you about compound assignment operators. Now the first thing is commenting. Now there's two ways to comment. The first is probably the one that you'll use most often. It's just 2 forward slashes. And that's to tell about like what you've been doing in your code, why you declared this variable, a float instead of an integer, stuff like that. Then the other one is a forward slash and asterisk for the first line, and then the second line is an asterisk and then a forward slash. And now that's multi-line comments, and a lot of times that's used for taking out pieces of code that you don't need to use. So if there's a section of code that you just want to see how the program runs without it, this is what you'll use, because you're not actually deleting it. And remember, be very descriptive in your comments, because you may not remember why you did this a week or even a few days later. Now, you have to use the right string modifier. If you declare a variable as an int and then you change it to a float, you have to change the string modifier from %i to %f also. Now there's also different ways to display a float. As you can see, I declared a as a double, and then I assigned it 4.2, and then I put this E1 after it, and you may be like, whoa, what's that? Well, if you look at the red, it 4.2 equals 4.2, and then 4.2 E1, it actually moves the decimal point back one, so it increases the number. And then 4.2 E minus 1, it actually moves the decimal point forward one, so it decreases the number. So it now equals 0.42. And then specify the significant digit. You choose how many decimal points are after the number by putting that number. If you want 3, you put %.3f before the string modifier. So double A equals 4.2. Then nslog A equals %.3f, and then A. Now what it'll be is 4.200, because we told the compiler that we want 3 decimal points after the significant digit. Now we'll be heading into Xcode to try out what we've learned. Okay, so now we're in Xcode. So here comes the fun part. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change these integers to floats. And as you can see, the auto suggestion comes up, and then you just hit enter to accept the suggestion. Now I'm just going to compile it here real quickly, and as you see, it's like, what in the world? How did it get all these big numbers? Well, because you said there was a float, but you only used the integer string modifier. That's why it came up with those. So you have to change these to %fs. Now I'm also gonna now do a little commenting. Just gonna comment this out because we don't really need that, and we actually don't need this line, these 2 lines. So I'm gonna do a multi-line comment. It comments everything until you end the multi-line comment. So there we go. Now I'm going to build and run again. Save all. And there we go. It looks like it should. Now I'm going to just delete this part right here. And I'm going to assign this 3.5. Then B will be 3.5 E1, and then C will be 3.5 E minus 1. Then we're just going to add a little nslog C equals %f C. Now we're going to build and run it. Save all. And there we go. The first one, as you can see, A, it equals the same thing. Then E, it moves the decimal back one to increase the number. and then -1, it decreases the number by moving the decimal position forward. Now there's also that thing that I showed you. You could say how many significant or how many decimal points you want after the significant digit. Right here, 3.5. I'm going to change, since it's A, I'm going to change it in the NSLog function, 0.3, and then build and run. Save all. Then as you can see, there's only 3 decimal points after the significant digit right there because we specified it in the string modifier. Now we're going to head back into the Keynote and learn the rest of the lesson.